Welcome to Resiliency Talks, where we encounter the stories of life, the way it knocks you down, picks you up, pulls you apart, and makes you want to stop breathing. Our talks are a collection of overcoming stories and traumatic events from your host, Essi Bagheri, and often interviews from special guests who are experts in their field. From a child sexual assault victim, to a boy soldier, to a teen father, to an adult recovering drug addict, Essi has a lot to talk about regarding strength, loss, bravery, and hope. Together, we can overcome trauma and addiction. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Do not give up now. Without further delay, here's another impacting episode of Resiliency Talks.
Hi, my name is Essi Bagheri and I am your host. This is Resiliency Talks. In this episode, we want to talk about recovery from addiction, alcoholism, and what it is and how we can overcome addiction and stop the pain and suffering and the impact that we as an addicts or alcoholic have on our families and our loved ones. You see, addiction is something that there's a lot of stigma about alcoholism, about addiction, that the people who drink or use drugs, there are bad people, or they've been called junkies. And so I want to clarify some stuff that might be really valuable and to see how we can avoid killing people by this attitude. So I want to start by talking about who's an addict and who is an alcoholic, and is it from certain class, certain different families? Is it rich, middle class, poor? What's going on? And if we understand, and it coming from a person who's been through it all. And what I mean by that, I've been in field of addiction in and out of recovery for almost 26 years. And I'm not 26 years sober, or I'm not 26 years clean, whatever you want to call it. And through my addiction and recovery, and being in 17 treatment centers and 29 detoxes, I learned few things about addiction and about the stigma. So myself included, I remember when I used to drink and use drugs, and it was like on a weekend, and every time I drank, I used drugs, and I would live in the most beautiful place. I had tons of money, business, but I would wear my suit and go to the club, and that I would end up in the most terrifying place. And I would tell myself after the weekend is end, that there is no way that I would end up in places like we call it here, Maine and Hastings, or East Side, and the places that really is devastating. If you see people in all kind of life, and I never thought of it. Who are these people? Who are these people that they end up in places like, I don't wish for anybody, the hotels, motels with cockroaches and mouse, and the places that is like people sleep in the streets. And how could people end up there? And I never thought in a million years that these people at the time that they're from good family. There's someone's brother or someone's sister, someone's son. And until I get to know some people, I got to know some people that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what family and how much money you or your family have. It does not matter you're white, black, Chinese, Asians, and that Middle Eastern, doesn't matter. As soon as I take a drink or I cross, we call it that imaginary line, it's all bets off. So I want to share some of my experience that while I was out there and drinking and using drugs, I met people that at once they were millionaires. I met people that their family are very well off. They're doctors or lawyers and or engineers, and so it wasn't a money. It's not like they grew up in a poor family or they didn't have education. I was blown away by the information that I got regarding it doesn't matter. And as I said, I've been to 17 treatment centers, 29 detoxes. So I tried every basically ways that I can stay sober. And so I know what treatment center works, what they have, what they offer. So I got some knowledge, and being in my 10 years of sobriety now and being sober for almost 10 years, I my mission is with this podcast is to inform people and to talk about, as a family member, as a friend, as a co-worker, as someone when we know our neighbors, that we do not see the people who are using drugs or in addiction or alcohol as bad people. That could be one of your member of family. That can be one of your daughters, son, brother, husband, wife. It's possible. I've seen it in all these years of being around addiction, sober, and in active addiction. I've seen it all. And so what can you do as someone whose loved ones suffering? So the first thing is, there's a lot of information online. So from now on, I'm going to start providing some feedback, how you can reach out, because not everybody know about recovery that is possible, including myself. I thought, this is my life. That's the best I can do, and I can do nothing about it. And I'm just gonna live a miserable life in addiction, and I'm gonna die. And I was okay with that. That's the scary part of it, that I was okay with that. But I didn't know about there is help. I remember my first time was 26 years ago. I was in this basement apartment, basement suite that I was living, and I haven't paid rent for like almost 3 months. And I had a girlfriend who couldn't put up with me anymore, and came and she said, Essi, I can't do this anymore with you, and I'm done. And I said, what should I do? And she left and she said, I don't know, just get help. So I picked up the phone and I called the operator and I said, I have problem with alcohol and drugs and I don't know what to do. So my perception was, because I grew up in Middle East, and when I was, when I was a child, I was told that my mother, when I was 6 months old, she used to put opium in the milk, and because I was crying, so she would put milk opium in the milk, and it would give it to me so to calm me down. So I had this perception it's in my blood. They're going to take me to a hospital and they're going to do a blood transfusion. And after a week, I'm good to go. And honestly, that's what I was thinking. So why I'm telling you this, because to give you some perspective that I'm not alone in that aspect. I never thought that I had a problem, even though my life was a shit show. I wasn't living. I was surviving. So I called the operator and I said, I have a problem. And she said, no problem, hon. I will give you a detox number. And I said, what is detox? Again, I thought they're going to take me to a detox. That place I go, they're going to change my blood. But I had no idea what was ahead. And as a result of that, I suffered from, as I said, I went to detox, and then I went to my first treatment center 26 years ago. And I was in and out of recovery for years. And 6 months, 11 months, 5 years, but I never really didn't know what's going on until this last time, as I said, almost 10 years ago, that I really dive in and I got help. So there is more into addiction and alcoholism than majority of people know. There is more helps out there that people they don't know. So what I'm trying to do with this episode and other project that I'm working on is to let people know how can they get help for their kids or their loved ones, and what's the process, and how does it work, what kind of treatment center, which treatment center, what kind of. So I'm here to basically start talking about that, and see how myself and the people that I know and I've been working with can help you and your loved ones. And it would be an honor if to be part of someone else's journey. The biggest things that biggest thing that inspires me and to lift my spirit is to see someone when they're walking, when they go to detox, and they lost everything. I mean, not financially, but everything. Their hope, their dreams, their loved ones, and haven't talked to their kids or parents or family or whatever, and they hopeless. And then I see them a couple of weeks later, a month later, 6 months later, and I started to see their eyes. And I see they get back to their family and they become a productive member of society. And I see them, they walking their sons or daughters to the aisle, watch them graduate. That's why I do what I do. You can't buy that. And I want to be part of your journey. and looking forward to serve you and to do whatever all the experience and knowledge and pain and suffering that I've been through, so you don't have to go through some of the challenges that I didn't know, and be a light and help you and your loved ones. Love you all. Have a great day.
You've just listened to another episode of Resiliency Talks. Resiliency Talks was recorded live in the studio with final editing before upload. The views and events expressed on this podcast belong solely to their author. Subscribe today to Resiliency Talks or visit www.donotgiveupnow.com for more daily encouraging content. Don't miss the next episode of Resiliency Talks.